Welcome beyond the veil. You are listening to Moonlight and Ironwood. If you want to skip the wait and download the full audiobook right now, the link is in the description. Now, take a deep breath. The mist is rising. I scrambled out of the way, clutching my arm. Yes, tear her apart. Journey turned to face the monster. She looked small, fragile. Marcus leapt, his jaws wide open, aiming for her throat. Journey didn't run. She didn't flinch. She closed her eyes, and then she screamed. It wasn't a human scream. It was a wave of pure, concentrated alpha power. It rippled out from her like a shockwave, visible in the air as a violet distortion. It hit Marcus mid-air. The massive rogue wolf was blasted backward as if he'd been hit by a train. He flew over my head, over the dais, and smashed into the stone columns at the back of the amphitheatre. The stone cracked. Marcus slid to the ground, unconscious. The silence that followed was louder than the screaming. Every rogue stopped fighting. Every Ironwood wolf looked up. Journey stood in the centre of the dais, chest heaving, violet energy arcing off her skin like lightning. I stared at her from the ground, my heart hammering a frantic rhythm against my ribs. That wasn't just strength. That wasn't just royal blood. That was a monster. And for the first time in my life, looking at my little sister, I felt something I thought I had buried long ago. Fear. Chapter 17. Aftermath. The scream had torn my throat raw. I stood panting on the dais, my chest heaving, my skin buzzing with the aftershocks of the power I had unleashed. It wasn't just a physical sensation, it was mental. My wolf was standing tall inside my mind, larger than she had ever been, her violet eyes burning with a fierce, protective rage. Safe, she rumbled. Pack is safe. I looked down. Jackie was huddled on the stairs, cradling her broken wrist, staring at me with wide, terrified eyes. The arrogance, the sneer, it was all gone. Below us, the battle had frozen. The rogues, seeing their leader blasted into unconsciousness by a force they couldn't comprehend, dropped their weapons. They whimpered, backing away, their tails tucked between their legs. The Ironwood wolves were equally stunned. They stared at me not with the adoration they had shown earlier, but with a mix of awe and terror. Aiden, I whispered, the name breaking the spell. I scrambled down the steps, ignoring Jackie, and ran to where Aiden had fallen. He was shifted back into human form, lying groaning against the stone wall. His chest was heaving, and there was a nasty gash on his forehead, but he was alive. Aiden! I dropped to my knees beside him, my hands hovering over his injuries. Are you okay? Can you hear me? He cracked one grey eye open. A pained smile touched his lips. Did you just scream a bear-sized wolf into a wall? I let out a sob that was half laugh. Yeah, I think I did. Remind me never to make you mad, he wheezed, trying to sit up. I helped him, letting him lean his weight against me. Caleb and Nia rushed over. Caleb looked battered, his suit torn, but functional. Nia was miraculously untouched, though she was holding a broken chair leg like a club. Secure the rogues, Caleb barked to the guards, who were finally snapping out of their shock. Round them up. Anyone resists, put them down. The guards moved efficiently, zip-tying the surrendering rogues. And her, I said, my voice hardening. I pointed to the dais. 2 guards approached Jackie. She didn't fight them. She didn't even look at them. She just kept staring at me as they hauled her to her feet and marched her away. Alpha Stone walked over, limping slightly. He looked at the unconscious form of Marcus, then at the crack in the stone column, and finally at me. "That was unexpected," he said, wiping blood from his lip. "I didn't mean to do it," I said quickly. "It just happened. It was like a dam breaking." "It was the royal voice," the Alpha said quietly. "A power lost to time. It commands not just wolves, but the very air around us." He placed a heavy hand on my shoulder. "You saved the pack tonight, Journey, but you also changed everything. They won't look at you the same way again." I looked around the amphitheatre. He was right. The fear in their eyes was palpable. They weren't just looking at a Luna anymore. They were looking at a weapon. "I don't care how they look at me," I said, tightening my grip on Aiden. "As long as my mate is safe." Aiden kissed my temple, his strength slowly returning. "I'm safe. We're safe." But as the adrenaline faded and the cold night air settled in, I shivered. We had won the battle, but looking at the destruction, at the wounded pack members, and at the sister being dragged away in chains, I knew the war was far from over. And my life as the quiet, invisible girl was gone forever. I was the Queen of Ruin now, and I had a kingdom to rebuild. Chapter 18. The morning after. The sun rose over the Ironwood estate, painting the sky in soft pinks and oranges that mocked the grim reality on the ground. The amphitheatre was a crime scene, cordoned off by Caleb's security team. The scent of blood still lingered in the air, heavy and metallic. I hadn't slept. None of us had. I walked through the rows of cots set up in the main hall of the mansion, which had been converted into a makeshift infirmary. The pack doctor, Dr. Aris, was moving efficiently between patients, stitching wounds and setting bones. "Luna," a young wolf whispered as I passed. His leg was bandaged, but his eyes were wide with that same mix of awe and terror I had seen last night. He tried to sit up, to bow. "Rest," I said gently, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Please, you fought bravely." He relaxed back onto the cot, looking relieved that I hadn't, screamed him into a wall. It was the same everywhere I went. Fear, respect, a desperate need for reassurance. They had seen their new Luna unleash a power that could level a building, and now they were waiting to see if she was a savior or a tyrant. "You look exhausted," a familiar voice said. I turned to see Nia standing behind me. She was still wearing her torn formal dress, but she had tied her hair back with a piece of gauze and was carrying a tray of water bottles. "I feel like I've been run over by a truck," I admitted, taking a bottle. "How are the numbers?" "Better than expected," Nia said, her voice low. 7 critical injuries, but Dr. Aris says they'll all pull through. 32 minor injuries. No fatalities. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. "Thank the goddess." "Yeah," Nia agreed. "If you hadn't done whatever that was, it would have been a massacre." "Is that what they're saying?" "Some of them," Nia said honestly. "Others are saying you're a witch or a dragon in disguise. Chloe started a rumour that you eat rogues for breakfast." I groaned. "Oh, of course she did." "But they're alive, Journey. That's what matters. You saved them." We walked out onto the terrace, needing fresh air. Below us, on the lawn, Caleb was organising the transfer of the prisoners to the council's jurisdiction. I could see the transport trucks lining up. Aiden found us there. He had a bandage on his forehead and moved a little stiffly, but his strength was returning fast. "My father is in the study," he said without preamble. "He's been on the phone with the High Council since dawn." "And?" I asked, my stomach twisting. "They're coming," Aiden said grimly. "Not just a representative. The elders. All of them." "Why?" Nia asked. "Because of the attack?" "Because of the scream." Aiden looked at me, his grey eyes serious. "The royal voice hasn't been heard in 400 years, Journey. It's a legend. And now that you've used it, you've just become the most valuable and the most dangerous wolf on the continent." "They're afraid of me," I realised. "They should be," Aiden said fiercely. "But fear makes people do stupid things. We have to be careful. When they get here, they're going to try to separate us. They're going to try to bring you to the capital for training." "I'm not going anywhere," I said, the violet in my eyes flaring briefly. "This is my pack. This is my mate." "I know," Aiden said, pulling me into a hug. "But we have to play this smart. We have to show them that you aren't a loose cannon, that you are in control." "And Jackie?" I asked into his chest. Aiden stiffened. "She's in the silver cells. The council will want her too. Treason is a capital offence." I pulled back. "I need to see her." "Journey, no," Nia said immediately. "She tried to kill you." "She's my sister," I said, "and she's broken. I need to know why, before the council takes her and I never see her again." Aiden looked at me for a long moment, then nodded. "Okay, but I'm coming with you." "Me too," Nia said, crossing her arms. "I've still got my skillet in the car." I managed a weak smile. "Okay, let's go see the Ice Queen." As we walked toward the detention block, the morning sun finally broke through the clouds, illuminating the destruction left behind. It was a new day in Ironwood, a day of rebuilding, a day of reckoning. And I had a feeling the hardest battles were still to come. Chapter 19. Silver Bars. The detention block was located beneath the west wing of the estate. It was a place few wolves ever saw, and fewer still ever wanted to see. The air grew colder with every step down the spiral stone staircase, and the smell of pine and earth was replaced by the sharp, stinging scent of disinfectant and cold iron. And beneath that, the unmistakable tang of silver. Even though the silver was embedded in the bars and not touching us, my skin prickled. To a wolf, silver was anathema. It burned on contact and weakened even the strongest alpha. A guard stood at the heavy metal door. He straightened when he saw us, his eyes widening as they landed on me. "Luna?" He bowed deeply, almost too deeply. "Alpha?" "Open it," Aiden commanded. The door swung open with a heavy groan. The hallway beyond was lined with cells, most of them empty, but the one at the very end was occupied. Jackie sat on the narrow cot, her back to the door. She was still wearing her black tactical gear, though it was torn and dirtied. Her arm, the one I had broken, was in a temporary splint. She didn't turn around when we stopped in front of the bars. "I can smell you," she said, her voice flat and lifeless. "You smell like victory. It's nauseating." "Jackie," I said softly. She turned then. Her face was pale, her eyes dark circles of exhaustion. But the rage was still there, simmering just below the surface. "Here to gloat?" she asked. "Or did you just come to finish the job?" "I came to understand," I said, gripping the cold metal of the doorframe, careful to avoid the silver inlays. "We were sisters, Jackie. We shared a room until we were 10. You taught me how to braid my hair." "How did we get here?" How did you hate me enough to try and kill me?" Jackie laughed, a harsh, brittle sound that echoed off the stone walls. She stood up and walked to the bars, looking me up and down. "You think I hated you because of Aiden?" She shook her head. "No, Journey. Aiden was just the final straw. I hated you because you were free." I blinked, confused. Free? I was invisible. I was the disappointment. "Exactly," Jackie hissed. "You were allowed to be nothing. I was the heir. I was the beta's firstborn. From the moment I could walk, I was told how to stand, how to speak, who to be friends with. I carried the weight of the family name on my back every single day. And you? You got to sit in your room and read books. You got to be soft. You got to be yourself." She gripped the bars, ignoring the hiss of her skin burning against the silver. "And then," her voice broke, "after 18 years of perfection, after sacrificing everything to be worthy of the crown, you waking up one morning with violet eyes and take it all without lifting a finger. You didn't earn it, Journey. You stumbled into it." "I didn't ask for this," I whispered. "That makes it worse!" she screamed, tears finally spilling over. "I wanted it! I bled for it! And the moon goddess gave it to the girl who just wanted to be invisible. It's a cosmic joke." I looked at her, really looked at her. And for the first time, I didn't see the perfect, cruel sister. I saw a girl who had been broken by expectation long before I ever shifted. "I'm sorry," I said. Jackie wiped her face, her expression hardening again. "Save your pity. I don't want it. I played the game, and I lost. Now the council will come, and they'll execute me. That's the price of treason." "I can speak for you," I offered, desperation clawing at my throat. "I'm the Luna. I can ask for mercy, exile, maybe, not death." "Exile?" Jackie scoffed. "Wandering the woods as a rogue, scavenging for scraps like Marcus? I'd rather die." She turned her back on me again, sitting down on the cot. "Go away, Journey. Go be queen. Just remembering, a crown is just a fancy collar. Eventually, it will choke you too." "Jackie." "Leave!" she's soaking. Aiden put a hand on my shoulder. "Journey, it's done. Let's go." I stood there for a moment longer, staring at her back. I wanting to fix it. I advocating to rewind time. But 6 things, once broken, could never be put back together. "Goodbye, sister," I whispered. The shadows are lengthening. That is the end of this chapter. Can't wait to see what happens next. You don't have to. Download the full, uninterrupted story right now at the link below. Otherwise, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next chapter. Sweet nightmares.